Assalamu alaikum. In today's lesson, we're going to learn the fourth type of questions in task 2 in the IELTS exam, which is called problems and solutions. Also, sometimes we call it causes and solutions. So let's watch. So this kind of questions is called problems and solutions or causes and solutions, because in some situations they ask you about the problems and in others they ask you about the causes. Let's take this example. Global warming is one of the biggest threats humans face in the 21st century, and sea levels are continuing to rise at alarming rates. What problems are associated with this, and what are some of their possible solutions? So we're talking about the issue of global warming, right? And the fact that sea levels are continuing to rise at alarming rates. They're asking us about the problems which are associated with global warming, not the causes. Be careful, not the causes. They're not asking about the causes, but they're asking about the problems associated with this. In other words, they're asking about the consequences and some of their possible solutions. Okay. The first thing that you're supposed to do is to plan. And this is the first step in any essay that you write. You have to start planning first. We talked about planning in one of the previous videos. I devoted a whole part for this, but I'm going to talk about that one more time. Okay, so let's think about some of the problems associated with humans and rising sea levels. Number one, people's homes are being flooded. Yes, of course, when the sea level rises, then the homes are going to be flooded. Remember what happened in Alexandria a few years ago in the winter time. Also remember what happened in America, in the East Coast. Remember Indonesia and many parts of Asia when there is a tsunami. Number two, many people are being displaced from their homes. Of course, when a home is flooded, then the people who live in this home have to leave and find a different place. Number three, agricultural land is being damaged. This is true, and I saw it in a video when they had rising sea levels in America in the East Coast, I think 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. So the footage in the videos showed many agricultural lands and agricultural areas completely covered with seawater. Underground water is undrinkable. Of course, when the seawater moves to the underground water, it becomes undrinkable because it's contaminated now. It's not fresh water anymore, it's salt water. We also need to think about some solutions for the previous problems. Building flood barriers like walls to prevent the seawater from coming into the land. Moving to higher areas. Building desalination plants. A desalination plant is like a station whose job is to remove the salt from the seawater and make it drinkable. This could be a good solution for the undrinkable groundwater. Now we're ready to start writing. So the structure is going to be the normal one: an introduction, body paragraph 1 for the problems, body paragraph 2 for the solutions, and finally a conclusion. Introduction. Paraphrase the question. This is a fixed step in any essay that you have to write for the IELTS exam. You have to paraphrase the question and then write an outline statement. We talked about the outline statement before. We said that it's basically a summary for the ideas to be illustrated in the body paragraphs. Introduction. Climate change and dramatically increasing water levels are among the prominent dangers facing people this century. This is a paraphrase, and it also includes some attraction when you're using exaggeration. The prominent dangers facing people this century, some attractions here. And climate change is a paraphrase for the word global warming. So that's the paraphrase of the question. One of the most serious ramifications associated with this phenomenon is the flooding of homes. This is the summary of body paragraph 1. Ramifications means consequences. Flooding of homes. As you can see, we did not choose all the ideas that we came up with in the planning stage, because in the planning stage, you don't have to use everything that you come up with. No, you write all your ideas on a piece of paper and then you choose some of these ideas and you write about them. Building flood barriers is the most viable solution to overcome this problem. This is going to be the summary of body paragraph 2. So basically, you have 3 sentences. One as a paraphrase for the question. The second one is a paraphrase of body paragraph 1, and the last one is a paraphrase for body paragraph 2. Okay. Structure of the problem paragraph. State the problem, explain it, Discuss the results of the problem. Provide an example. State the problem. The foremost problem caused by climbing sea levels is the flooding of people's residences. So this is the topic sentence. The most important problem caused by climbing sea levels is the flooding of people's residences. When people's homes are being covered with water. That's your topic sentence. And then we have the explanation. Millions of people all over the world live in coastal areas, and if the sea rises by even a few feet, they will be inundated. Inundated means drowned with water and will lose their property. That's the explanation. And then discuss the results. What's going to happen if we don't fix this problem? It's needless to say that shelter in this situation means home, is one of the most basic of human needs, and widespread flooding would cause millions of people to become homeless, not to mention the loss of all their possessions, the furniture, the cars, everything. You guys saw that in America when there was Hurricane Katrina. I don't know if you guys remember this or not. But yes, it's true. People lost their homes and everything that was inside their homes and their cars, everything. Step 4, provide an example. The devastation brought about by widespread flooding was clear for all to see during the 2011 tsunami in Japan, in which millions of people were displaced. Mention any example: America, Japan, even Egypt, Alexandria, Indonesia, any example that you can think of. So that's the problem paragraph. How about the solution paragraph? State the solution, explain it, explain how the solution will solve the problem, and then provide an example. A possible solution to this problem would be to build flood barriers. That's your solution. And then explain it. Flood defenses, such as dams and floodgates, could be built along coasts and waterways to prevent the water from reaching populated areas. For example, the Netherlands Netherlands means Holland, is one of the most populated areas in the world and also one of the most vulnerable to flooding, but they have successfully employed various protection systems. That's your solution paragraph. 3 parts, basically: the topic sentence, the explanation, and then finally the example. The conclusion, what do? Advice. I usually like providing advice in the conclusion. That's the best thing that you can do to avoid redundancy. Advice on how to fight the problem and a reminder of what will happen if we don't. To conclude, or in conclusion, stopping the rising tides caused by increasing global temperatures is one of the foremost challenges we face. However, it's imperative means important, that governments expedite. To expedite means to make something faster, expedite their efforts to combat this issue, or else some of the most charming cities in the world, such as Alexandria, will vanish underwater for good. For good here means forever, taking down with it a rich history filled with beautiful memories. Here, I'm giving myself some flexibility. You know, I told you about that. I said that in the conclusion, maybe give yourself some flexibility, even if you're writing a formal essay, a touch of beauty, like a farewell message, to show the examiner that you can do that sometimes. You can add a touch of beauty to your essay. Only do this in the conclusion, maybe a little bit in the introduction, but never in the body paragraphs. They have to be formal. So give this touch of beauty to your concluding essay, to your concluding paragraph, or your introductory paragraph. You can do that. You can see, look at that. Taking down with it a rich history filled with beautiful memories, like the sad music that you can see in the final scene of a movie. Okay, here is your homework. In some countries, the average weight of people is increasing and their levels of health and fitness are decreasing. What do you think are the causes of these problems? The causes in this situation, not the consequences. They're asking us to write about the causes. If you waste time discussing the consequences of gaining weight and the deterioration of health and fitness, then you would be losing marks because you're not asked to do that. They're asking you to write about the causes. That's what they need. And what measures could be taken to solve them. Measures mean solutions. That's your homework. Write the essay and send it to me. I'm going to give you feedback and help you to improve your writing. I hope today's lesson was useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.